Wait, what do you mean they aired 2 episodes? When did this happen?
What?
Why? Why?
Not that we're complaining, but wow, okay. Surprise. What?
I didn't know this was happening. I was not told this.
We weren't warned. Not prepared.
You know, there were... Why... Who decided that TV shows shouldn't be aired, like, normally anymore? Can we just... Why is nothing aired, like, normally? Like, you put an episode a week out, like a normal human being? Would that be okay?
People who, I don't know, are still a bit confused on why Netflix works better than TV. I don't know. Like, was this advertised at all? I'm watching these shows by browbeating Hola into not being a bag of dicks for the runtime of an episode so I can actually watch on the ABC website, and hopefully that contributes to the ratings. So I have no idea if this was actually advertised on the TV or not.
I don't know.
A complete and utter surprise for the viewing audience.
I say it's stupid regardless, because who randomly decides how many people outside of people who are already fans decide to watch 2 hours of a show?
Well, even if you are a fan, like when you're watching stuff on TV, you really got to pre-plan your viewing time, so you know your shows aren't clashing. So if you don't know that suddenly your show's taken up 2 hours instead of 1, throws your whole evening into disarray, I'm sure. I say as someone who only watches Crunchyroll and Netflix. But
what I'm getting at is that anime and Japan are the only people who know how to release television shows anymore. It's very simple. Like, they have their season, they have their 12 to 13 episode season, and then they release an episode a week, and then it's over. Simple. Why is that hard to get? Why is this difficult?
I still want to know why the show isn't on Netflix so I don't have to deal with Hola to watch it. Because seriously, Hola is a bag of dicks.
Why is
an entire bag of dicks.
Why is there a site called Hola?
It's an app that allows you to, it basically like a server jumper thing, so websites think I'm in the US instead of Scotland and watch things.
I thought it was just an off-brand version of Hulu.
No, it's an app thing, which, I see a lot of people saying Hola works extremely well for them when they're trying to watch US TV shows, and for some reason US websites don't like letting people outside the US watch US TV shows, and then they complain about...
International audience, what's that?
And then they complain about poor ratings, because, logic. But see, I see a lot of people using Hola and it works out just fine, and for me it's a bag of dicks that likes to cut out at the most inopportune moments of my shows.
Yeah. So maybe we should talk about the episode at some point.
Yeah, I don't have anything against Surprise Extra Agent Carter. But yeah, that happened. That was a surprise.
So, this might actually have been my favorite episode so far. Mainly for the reason you think it is.
Yeah, for the reason it was one of my favorite episodes, which again had moments of incredibly dumb shit in it, but in general, I love this episode.
Yeah. So, going on to the plot of what happens in this episode, this time Calvin Chadwick is holding a fundraiser. And so, in order to do infiltration mission number 559, they decide that because of their current circumstances, the only person they could turn to is Dottie.
Yeah, because, Peggy has difficulty infiltrating because of the whole getting impaled thing, and also the fact that both Calvin and Whitney know her face. And they know Jarvis's, which they acknowledge, but they still sent him in anyway, because... I guess
because Jarvis.
A reasonable I suppose I can totally see Howard Stark sending Jarvis to things for him, but he has to know there's no way no one would find that suspicious that he's there. See, my first thought when they said they needed someone who wasn't Peggy to go in was that maybe they were going to send Anna because she reappeared in this episode, and I'm so happy because she is my angel. Not Anna, but I will settle for Dottie. I will very happily settle for Dottie.
Yes. Anyway, after a long negotiation, I suppose you'd call it, sort of negotiation through acknowledging that there's no negotiation.
Between Peggy and Dottie, yeah, they're just like, yeah, I'm going to make you an offer. We both know it's a lie. We both know this is the only chance you have. We both know you're gonna stab me in the back at the first opportunity.
This is a perfect partnership. Clearly.
It's like, well, see, I've got Jack Sparrow in my head going, you can always trust untrustworthy people to be untrustworthy. Like, you know, that whole spiel's like, it's the trustworthy ones you can watch. You gotta watch.
That's true enough, I suppose.
So, I mean, Dottie and Peggy can read each other like a book. Peggy's like, as soon as you get outside, go right. And, of course, Dottie runs left, and Peggy and Sousa are waiting there with an electrified net gun.
Yeah, that was pretty great. Really? A net?
Yep, and they zap her, and then Peggy does it again just for, as far as I can tell, the lulz.
Yeah. I do like that they give her some sort of magic magnetic science item, trademark.
Oh, no, they give her the fancy Battle Royale necklace.
Well, that too. But before that, when she escapes, they give her this weird magnetic things to help her escape her cell.
That was pretty cool.
Anyway, Dottie and Jarvis are at the party with Peggy and Susie giving orders.
Can I say that I love Dottie's dress for this? Like, wow. That is a nice dress that Peggy put her in while she was unconscious.
After last time, I decided not to mention the looks of any character again. I'll leave that to you entirely. But then Jack Thompson shows up to ruin fun, which is his role in the series. Ruiner of fun.
Just ruin everything. It's like, yeah, my note at this point literally just said, is that Jack Thompson here to ruin everything?
Yes. I do. That does lead to one of the best scenes where Jarvis is just a complete dick to him. It just calls him a naive fool.
I really enjoyed that. It's just Jarvis getting to talk down to Jack and Jack being his usual dick self. But I still have a really hard time reading what way he's going to swing towards the end. 'Cause he looks like he can tell he's working for somebody evil and he's not happy about it, but he's still doing it.
I hope he swings towards the exact same fate of the chief from the last season.
Heroic sacrifice, yeah, I can get behind. And before we get to the party scene, we do also have a scene of Whitney freaking out because, you know, she's got a cracked up face and getting surprisingly good fashion tips from her husband about it. And then, see, you just knew from this entire scene that he is betraying the crap out of her, and it's really painful to see how happy she is. And because she, again, I can't blame her for being terrified of her. She's killed people, but this is how you supervillain origin story, basically.
That's just that. I will say I actually almost bought it, that he was being genuine, which is what makes it work so well.
Makes it so painful.
Anyway, Dottie sneaks into the lair of the League of Idiots. I'd also go for the Council of Evil.
Yeah, that's. Well, at the beginning of that scene, my first thought was, "That's right, Dottie, get back in the closet. Russia wants none of that yet."
Now, obviously, what happens is that she tries to. I will say, first of all, what I legitimately thought was going to happen, or what was worried was going to happen, is that they were going to do the same to her, like, I thought it was going to be slightly similar to what happened, except I thought she was going to, like, try to convince them, and they were going to be like, but you're a girl, essentially.
Yeah, again, it's just heartbreaking how excited she was about getting to talk to these guys and thinking she was being taken seriously.
So I am happy they didn't go in that direction, because that would have sucked.
Yeah. I mean, they were clearly all thinking it, and they were also like, what the fuck? And then they, you know...
but then they just try to stop her with the most dangerous weapons imaginable by mankind. Pull sticks with the rope!
I think they were just trying to disable her, not actually kill her, and... for what it's worth, it wasn't entirely stupid that they came up with a plan that would allow them to stay out of her reach. They just had...
I know, but it's still so stupid. It was just, they just have these little sticks. They just have sticks, and they put like little piece of rope on it. It just capture her like she's like some type of like fish.
Oh, I know, it looked like corralling an animal, and it was just, oh, really. They deserved getting shoot.
It's just so stupid looking. Like, there's supposed to be, like, this great evil council that controls the city. And all they have are sticks with rope.
Well, see, it was effective for the purpose, which is one of those moments that said, okay, I can kind of see how they all got to be so rich, aside from being, white upper-class men in 50s America. But, yeah, and then she, turns out her powers are a lot more than anyone suspected. She shoots the two guys trying to strangle her, shoots a couple of council members from a distance, and she shoots her husband, which is surprisingly heartbreaking, given that I'm sure we all knew it was coming, but she's crying while she does it because she is so betrayed in that moment. But she's, then goes on to murder 5 people.
I also have this here. Good job, Chadwick. I almost believed you were a remotely likable character.
I never believed that for a second. And after that's done, she composes herself, she turns to the 4 survivors, and is basically like, I'm in charge now, bitches.
Yeah. She is now the ruler of the council.
Yep, and absolutely no one's contesting that, and Hugh Jones is already polishing an apple. So.
But then later on, after, like, a bunch of stuff happens and, like, the FBI guys realize something's wrong, Dottie tries to, like, fend them off, but Jack Thompson now ruins Dottie's fun because Jack Thompson ruins everyone's fun.
How does Jack Thompson beat Dottie Underwood in a fight? How?
Presumably she was, like, off guard because she didn't expect that.
That is the only thing that's close to an explanation that makes anything resembling sense. Because, like, not that Jack Thompson's a bad fighter, it's just by some of the standards of the characters in the series, particularly Dottie and Peggy, he is so not up to that caliber.
And then later he threatens to ruin Carter's life.
Again.
Because he is the FBI's bitch.
Basically, yeah.
And then the episode ends with Dottie captured by Frost.
And
which in retrospect does lead to the next episode, and yet is a weird way to lead to the next episode.
Yeah, see, it looks like that cliffhanger was designed with, in anticipation of having a week between it rather than immediately going on to the next one.
Yeah, I think that's the main problem. It's supposed to be a cliffhanger. It's not supposed to be, well, this is what's going to happen next time in, like, 5 minutes.
Yeah. See, it works better as a generalized, oh no, Dottie is in Whitney's hands, it's all going to shit moment, rather than a very specific, here's what is going to happen right next.
Yes, it is. I have quite a lot of notes for this. First of all, at the beginning, for the intro, I put, oh shit, I think Jason just put on the One Ring of Power.
Yep, that was my thought, that was my brother's thought. It's like he vanishes, he's in this weird dark blur realm, any second Sauron's gonna spot him.
Yes. It's just what do they call the warriors? What were they on horseback?
The Nazgul?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Yeah, it did smack of those visuals. So it's like, yeah, if you see any dudes in black on horses, Wilkes, we might have a problem. And yeah, it's my first note is in fact, Peggy, get your ass back in bed. You got fucking impaled. A lot of my notes for this episode are on some variant of somebody make Peggy go back to bed. She got fucking impaled.
That was honestly, I legitimately was surprised that they actually kept that injury story going the entire episode. I thought they would find some excuse to get her into an action scene by the end.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, a wound like that, she would have been out a lot longer than she is, but also she's Peggy Carter. So.
Yeah. But I didn't think they would even go this long, to be honest.
Yeah, so points for that.
While doing some quick research, I found out that Anna Jarvis is in fact the name of the person who founded Mother's Day.
Aww.
What a weird thing. How random.
That's cute, whatever the hell it means.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get to see Anna doing science with Wilkes, and because she apparently has tiny hands and precision movements, which is great.
Oh, and for the prison scene, I put the roles of Harley Quinn and Joker will now be played by Peggy and Dottie. You know, like pre-evil Harley Quinn when she was just like a therapist or whatever. That's immediately what I was reminded of.
Yeah, a lot of people always forget that Harley Quinn's a professional psychologist. Yeah, I was enjoying that scene, both just because
Yes.
it's always fun to see Peggy and Dottie have conversations, because always
Yes.
so on guard around each other.
I think Dottie's trying to win the award of being the queen of smug confidence, and it is wonderful.
And also just slipping so many flirty lines into everyone she talks to, particularly Peggy. You know, from seeing you gives me a boost to, ooh, how naughty. When Peggy outlines the plan to get her out, I'm just like, I love you, Dottie, never change. I mean, you're an awful human being, but you bring the gay levels of the show up, and I always approve of that.
Yeah, she is fantastic. I also have like an odd thing with like her acting at times. Like, it's almost like kind of, yeah, she just does some weird. It's hard to describe how she does, like the actual acting.
I noticed that she,
for her character.
The thing I noticed is that she often opens her eyes really, really wide, which, you know, gives her an intense look, but also something about the way she moves can be very mannequin-like sometimes. You always get a slightly unsettling feel from her, like she's not quite entirely human, which is a great effect for, you know, a Red Room trained motorbot, basically.
Yeah. She always has this sense that, like, you shouldn't be near this person. Get away, before she murders you, and then uses your skin to put on hers.
Yeah, she's giving off danger signals, and comes off as not maybe 100% human, and it's really good. It really helps portray how just at any second, you're tense every second waiting for this woman to just murder everyone in the room. It's like her sheer disappointment when she gets out the cell and finds that Peggy's already taken the unconscious guard's gun.
Speak of innuendo, the one I enjoyed the most, because I don't think it was even intended to be one, is when they put the necklace on her, and she's like, "How fabulous! I'll be sure to return this favor with a choker of my own someday." This is now an innuendo.
Yeah, it's a threat, but
I don't know how it is. Like, I don't know, maybe you would know that better.
Well, it depends on if you're taking it as a threat or an offer for autoerotic asphyxiation. It's up in the air.
I'm sure that's a fic somewhere.
I would entirely not be surprised if it's already a dozen fics. Like, to be fair, I haven't actually gone into the Agent Carter ficdom very much, so I don't know how much there is. But if there isn't a lot of enemy hate sex smut between Peggy and Dottie, I will be so disappointed with this fandom.
0 stars.
Like, between all the Peggy and Dottie stuff, I actually have a section of notes here about how the whole sub thing with Anna being quite scared for realizing just how much danger her husband's in and being scared for her, and people accidentally making that much worse. I'm just like, oh, that poor angel.
One of my notes here was Hugh Jones should have failed in some sort of comedic fashion. That's a thing that should have happened in this episode, and it didn't, and it disappoints me. That needs to be in every episode. Just Hugh Jones, just something stupid happens to him, and he looks. It would be great.
Well, we do have him being a really smarmy little apple polisher after Whitney shoops a couple of council members. Like, everyone else is just barely like, yep, fine, I'm doing what you say, because otherwise you'll kill me. But he's the one who's all smiles and like, absolutely, ma'am, I am so excited to engage at whatever meaningless business speak he goes into there.
Yeah. Why did I write that down? Oh, dear.
Well, you need to share it now, whatever it is.
These days, so because of what happened in this episode, Whitney Frost made sure that she put quite a few men inside her that evening.
These jokes will never end.
Here's my final note to end on. In all caps, stop doing romance stories.
I think it's not so much romance as the clumsy Peggy Souza. Because, yeah, that's the one bit of this episode that was really bugging me. The conversation, the van. I could have muted the episode there and recited that entire conversation with my eyes closed. it was that predictable and that...
Well, no, that's not the worst part. The worst part was afterwards, towards the end, where they go full-on confessing to each other, and Jarvis is overhearing, which is kind of funny, but...
Yeah, well, he's running around talking to his glass. It's, I mean, at least he finally tells her the shit, and she's... Oh, I feel sorry for Peggy. She feels like it's her fault this is ballsed up, and no, it's Sousa's for not coming clean about his... I do think maybe Violet is overacting by full-on breaking off the engagement. I mean... You know, Sousa wasn't exactly being subtle about how in love with Peggy he looks. I really hope she's up to talk to him again when he sorts out his emotional debris. Mainly because I don't want Violet to just vanish from the show at this point.
At this point, I'm just sighing repeatedly.
Yeah.
Like 30 seconds before you really... Okay, I'll go talk to Violet about this. And then 30 seconds later, let's kiss! It isn't like we're doing a mission or anything.
No, it isn't like I immediately just offered to go patch things up with your fiancé for you.
Stop!
I always... Just the second, you can see the second where they shift into kiss mode, and I hate that second when it happens in dumb shit. Like, Peggy and Sousa work very well together a lot of the time, but there's also just been a lot of stuff that suggests that they don't work very well together as a couple. Like, I mean, my main hang-up is the thing where... He moved across the country, didn't return her calls when she tried to keep in touch, and then didn't tell her that he had a girlfriend when she turned up and asked him out for drinks. Why can you not return phone calls, you asshole? It's like, you know, on the opposite side of the country, it was so long away. I am right now live recording a thing with somebody 6 time zones away. Grow up, dude. And just also, where was the need to hide the fact that he had a girlfriend from Peggy unless... Like, literally, what was the need?
The need was plot convenience.
The need was unnecessary drama between the characters.
Remember when I said, after the second episode, that I was really happy that that Sousa was with a girlfriend and that Wilkes was dead because it meant we weren't going to have to deal with stupid romantic bullshit?
Spoke too soon.
And
again, I don't know if enough has happened between Peggy and Wilkes to say if they'll be good for each other long term, but I don't think Peggy and Sousa will. And I feel like the show keeps trying to push it, but it's being too obvious about it, and it's not doing enough to actually build up the relationship between them as something that is actually a positive impact on their lives.
My hope is that it just pulls season 2 of Korra and just stops all of it at the end.
Stops all of it at the end. 2 seasons later, Peggy skips off into the sunset with Angie after side characters get married.
Yes.
I approve of that.
I predict that those side characters will be Rose and the scientist.
I think that'd be nice. I will say, I like that Rose has a romance subplot, but it also bugs me that it's following a fairly common template of we're going, yeah, see, we're going to give the fat girl a romance too, but it's going to be with like the one male cast member who isn't conventionally attractive, because, you know, God forbid anyone conventionally attractive fall in love with the fat girl. That's just a thing I see a lot, and it's quite annoying. Like, literally the only subversion I can think of that is Legally Blonde, where the not conventionally attractive middle-aged overweight hair salon lady lands the hottest man in the entire film, and it's wonderful.
But I think that's all we have to do.
What else do I have to say about it? Yeah. I did enjoy Dottie throwing shade at the party while she's there, just like the decadence of this place is truly repulsive. It's like, yeah,
yeah.
Comrade's not enjoying the party much, and then she just has a face like she almost hears the FBI dude talking shit about communism on the other side of the room.
But yeah, this will be the end of this vlog. Even though they aired the next episode next time, that'll be in a different vlog for everyone's sanity. And also that will be next Saturday. We are not forcing these vlogs. I don't care how they aired. We're doing each vlog every Saturday.
One last thing. In this episode, Jack Thompson has the world's least romantic iteration of, just get on that flight with me, leave all this behind. Like, that is such a classic romance line, and he has just delivered the most unromantic version of it in all of history. So yeah, see y'all on Saturday.
Yay.